Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome back to the QPR Career Mode. If you are not all nice and caught up, go check out the playlist, get caught up, and then of course welcome to today's episode. Today is probably the most important episode of the series so far. Could be our final episode of season number 1 if things go south, but it could also be the penultimate episode of the series or season number 1, whatever you want to call it, depending on results. For those who do or don't know, currently in 7th place, a point behind 6th and 3 points behind 5th. Preston was a team we were sort of chasing for a while, but they're currently up in 4th and I think 5 points clear of us. But wins going our way mean that we could catch and or overtake teams above us. Hull and Preston, 2 of the teams we have left to play. First of all, though, we are playing against Sunderland, sitting in 22nd, but from playing them previously in the season, not a fun team to play against. They play some high pressing football, kind of like they do in real life. They play the way you would expect them to play in real life. I'm not entirely sure how they're in 22nd in this save, but unless anything happens between now and then, I'll see you guys at the Sunderland game. Voice break, you're welcome, keeping it in just for you. Yeah, this episode today is all about getting these games played. Going into the game with what is normally our starting 11, although actually one change I am going to make, and that is going to be Jimmy Dunn in for Cook, purely because Cook is a player that I think with age is probably not going to be playing much, if at all, next season for us. So it makes sense to try and get Jimmy Dunn in there with the game time where possible. In the away kit, which is similar to the home kit, but playing in the blue and white, I think clashes a lot more than the red and black. So that's the thought process there with me sticking with the away kit, but it's an important win today. And again, boys, I'm doing the usual. It's 2:30 in the morning. Not entirely sure why I'm filming Career Mode and trying to play FC24 right now, but I'm a man of the people. Let's get this game and this episode done. Let's smash it. Come on, you bloomin' R's. Great tackle there from Ozzy as Jack Clark tries to bring it away, but it's a good tackle from Ozzy. But sadly, you can see this is the high press I was talking about, boys. You don't really get too much time or space on the ball, because even when you've got sort of grass to run into, they just close you down so quickly. So it's going to be difficult playing through this press with, trying to really push for wins, because we need to at this point. But we found some space here, and Sinclair Armstrong finds the back of the net, 1-0, and that is a fantastic start for the boys. 9 minutes on the clock, and it's a goal that we needed to see, because realistically, a game going against us today could be enough. Just one result going the wrong way could be enough to stop us getting into those playoff places. But a lovely bit of play. I talked about the lack of space. We needed to play some quick football, Cifuentes style, boys. Let me know, by the way, QPR fans in the chat, thoughts on our first game against or with Cifuentes today with Rotherham. Obviously gutted to not get the 3 points, but picking up something while playing some lovely football was definitely preferable to sort of the recent performances we've had. But hold on a second here, as it could be 2. It's just wide of the post there from Linden. Good effort. Unfortunate not to find the goal there. 2 would have been lovely to have got very, very quick, follow up the first goal very, very quickly. But it's just a whisker wide. But it wasn't quite to be. But a good effort from Linden. Come on, boys. This is a really good start. Samfield going to pick up the loose touch there from Roberts as it bounces through to him. And then Roberts in frustration, I think they're going to slide into Power. No advantage really played in the end there, which is unfortunate, but we're doing well at winning the ball off them high up the pitch. I say that as they now burst forward, but in that sort of midfield third, we're picking the ball up there, which is a great place to win the ball against a team playing a high press. Well done again, Ozzy, winning that. Maybe a chance for a counter here. Let's just stick with this for a second, see if we can bring it forward. Linden going to try and play it into Armstrong. Lovely stuff there. Armstrong plays it back out wide to Chrissy Willock, who's going to try and cut inside, plays it into Linden, who's in between the defenders, and just like that, boys, it's 2-0 in a game that I said was going to be very difficult. And I think it's just that we're outplaying the press right now. We're playing through the lines, we're getting the ball into those strikers, and they're just getting lovely bits of space. You can see not loads of space for Linden there, but enough that he could turn, shield that ball away from Neil, and just find the back of the net. Very happy with that 2-0, and I'll tell you now, I did not expect to come into this game and be as, I'm going to say, comfortable as we've been so far. Obviously, it's still 60 minutes to go, only a third of the game played. There's plenty of time for things to go differently, shall we say, but so far so good, and lovely again in that midfield third there is where we're picking up the ball, and it's just exactly what you want to see. Sam Field picks that ball up fantastically there. Chris Willock now with a chance again to try and bring this ball through. Finds a bit of space here and plays a lovely ball through as well there for Linden. He's going to turn. He's going to get that ball into the box in the air. It goes past everyone, and Chair with the bobbled shot finds its way into the back of the net. Bishop, that is absolutely woeful from him there. But just like that, we make it 3, and it's looking like 7th versus 22nd. I'll tell you that for free. But I was not expecting this result, again, from how we played against them. They were a nightmare to play against the first time around. They just play such a high intensity, high pressing game, and we've just played against the press today, and that is bad from Bishop. Bearing in mind, I've upped keepers to 60 on the what's it called, on the sliders for opponents and for me, and that's been the case for a number of episodes. But yeah, that's shocking from Bishop, and that is 3, boys, and it's 3 separate goal scorers as well. Sunderland here pushing through for their first potential attack through on goal, and they're going to find it to Russin, and it's a very good save from Lavric. First, he's been asked into the game, and it's a good save as well. They're making a substitution, by the way. Abdullah Bar, might have said that wrong, coming off. Very interesting. A minute before half-time, literally this corner, and then it's half-time. Very interesting decision there, but let's just try and make sure we get it away. It does go over the bar. 2 of our lads end up on the floor, but 3 of our shots have ended up in the goal, and it's 3-0 at half-time. Very happy with the results so far. Looking honestly good for it as well. Like I say, they really didn't offer too much of a threat. That is the only shot, the only thing at all that Labrovic has had to deal with, and it was thankfully relatively straight to him. In regards to changes, Field is a little bit tired. Field, by the way, has been phenomenal. I have to say that, and I will say that. Sam Field has been truly fantastic. Going to take him off and bring on Joby Bellingham here. What I might do is just set both players to play centre mid, and then just make sure that both are on stay back, cover centre. Get on the stay on the edge. I don't want them getting into the box because I don't want them pushing too far forward. So have them stay on the edge, staying back just that little bit there. But for now, cracking on with the same team so far. Although, you know, 4 out of our 3 attacking players have scored, I would say that Chris Willock has been the most impactful out of the 4, even though he's the only one not to score. And then Sam Field and Ozzy Kakai for me are the other 2 standouts in regards to sort of defensive performances. But have to say, very, very happy with the squad. The only change, obviously, there being Field, and that was due to stamina. And I know Bellingham's stamina wasn't fantastic, but Field is very important to have playing as many minutes and starting as many games as possible. And if I think we can just maybe get away with 45 without him, and give 45 minutes to Bellingham, who's not had too many minutes so far. Good save that time from Bishop. Linden's going to have the strike, and it's a good double save from Bishop to stop it being 4, and it would have been the beginning of a routing, I think, if we'd have found a 4th that early on in the second half. But yeah, if I can afford to rest Field, then I will, just because it means that he's sort of guaranteed to start in the next game, which is crucial because he's so good. And talking of good, boys, we've said it once, we've said it twice, we've said it 1,000 times. Lyndon Dykes in the box for corners is a cheat code, an absolute thumping at the moment. QPR versus Sunderland, and it's 4-0 to QPR. You can tell it's a video game because, boy, oh boy, that is not happening anytime soon. Although under Cifuentes, who knows, anything is possible. But 4-0, boys, lovely header from the cross, I should say, into that top corner. Dykes with a brace. I've lost the ability to speak. It's 2:30 in the morning, and it's 4-0 to QPR. Oh, Clark here, bursting down this right-hand side. Ozzy didn't quite get the boot in as I've asked him to sort of stick a foot out to it, but Clark's going to get it back. It's going to be cut in well there from Dunn after Clark sort of does the initial work. And Labrovic, I don't want to say where he saved it, but he saved it. It's not gone in the back of the net. We've made some changes, by the way, as have they. Corey Evans off, Pembele on. I've taken off Willock and Kakai, and I have brought on Rayan Coley and Walters. Like-for-like changes. Cody playing right cam. But that is purely, again, fitness, rest a couple of people where possible. Obviously, rotation in our fullbacks. We have a handful of options, but not many. Waters being our 3rd best choice, and obviously relatively low rated still, but a young lad with potential to come through as well. But let's make sure we don't let them get a lifeline back in this. 4 goals. I'd like to think if we concede 4 in 25 minutes, we don't deserve a place in the playoff places. So fingers crossed we don't let that happen. We see it through, and let's just make sure we see this corner all the way out. Coley absolutely sent to the shops by them not doing very much there, but it's going to go back to Russin. Russin loses out. Fantastic defence from Clark, so we bring it away. Armstrong going to try and set away Ryan Coley. It's an ambitious through ball, but it's one that I think he's going to get on the end of, and he does. Wins the throw on there as Hume slides in. About 18 minutes on the clock. I'm going to make a handful of changes here. And again, these are all due to stamina. Done off for Cook. And then I think we're going to take off... I'm going to take off Armstrong. He's felt pretty efficient this game, so I'm going to take off Armstrong. Save Smith. Smith might end up starting the next game if Chair is still relatively tired, or if Willock is tired, and I don't think he will, because, you know, he played an hour, good 30 minutes to rest for the end of the game, and I think we have a week between now and the rest of the games of the season, so nice bit of a rest period between matches as well. But Bellingham here, up against his former team, isn't quite going to win that. Loses out at the edge of the box, but yeah, 4-0. Currently looking pretty comfortable for it, about 10-15 minutes on the clock. Well, this is a good bit of play here. Neil on the edge of the box, going to find, not even going to try and say his name, but it's a good block from Dazelle, brings that ball away, potentially a chance for a bit of a counter here if I can keep hold of it, which we do. Ilyas Chair going to burst down the wing here, just try and bring this ball forward now. Lovely cut inside, got a good run here from Connor Chaplin. Chair leaves the ball behind him, but does bring it eventually. Joby Bellingham against his former side with the strike. It's well defended and it hasn't gone out as well. It's kept on the pitch, good defending. Clean sheet here would be lovely with the clock going past the additional minutes. Well stepped in from Jake Clark-Salter. Chair brings it away, and just like that, a comfortable win. Stadium of Light becomes a stadium of delight for Queen's Park Rangers as we pick up a crucial 3 points. Again, as the game is looking and as the table stands, it's 3 points you kind of expect. A team trying to get into that final playoff place against a team struggling in the relegation zone. You'd imagine they really should be winning that one. And we did today, and that's the main thing. 3 more important points carried forward. It has finally happened. We are in 6th place. Now, not going to get ahead of myself. Norwich still have a game in hand. It could still very easily be Norwich play their game and win it, and that could end up being something that sees us back into 7th. However, it's worth noting we play Hull next, a goal difference of 6, which means if we were to win by 3, which I'm not getting ahead of myself, we did just achieve that, it's worth bearing that in mind, then we would actually go ahead of them, and that would mean that we are guaranteed to be in the playoff places as things stand. Not guaranteed by the end of the season, but guaranteed to be there at the time. So this is a huge game. It's a real 6-pointer, and for me, I mean, every game is kind of an important one at this point to the end of the season, but that could be huge. Just to confirm, Norwich did win their game in hand, so we are still a point behind them, but it's better to be a point behind them than 4 or however many, so I'll still take it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've got no intention of changing the starting lineup after the performance this exact 11 put in against Sunderland in that first half. I've got no reason to change it. Obviously, Chaplin, hell of a player. We've got some great players to bring on off the bench as well. But as things stand, I'm very happy with the way the team played. So we're going to crack on. We're going to jump straight in against Hull with the same team this time, though, at Loftus Road. And hopefully 3 huge points under the lights here. It will be monumental to win this game, and if we can come away with a comfortable victory to top it off, that would be even better, because it would see us, as I say, sort of nail a place on in the top 6 at the time being. So fingers crossed we can achieve that. Let's hope that we do. Come on, boys, huge game ahead of us. Come on, you us. Armstrong picking up the ball quite deep here and just running at the defence. It's very noticeable. There is far more time on the ball to be found already, just in the opening 4 or so minutes. Already noticeable the amount of time and space we're getting on the ball compared to the quick closing and high pressure from a team like Sunderland that we played against. Lyndon Dykes, good block there from Smith. One thing I will say, they are getting back and behind the ball very quickly. So although we're getting a bit more time on the ball, when we're in those attacking spaces, we've got less gaps to sort of be able to attack. So got to be careful of that counter as well. That was a really good chance, a really good through ball from them that was well defended in the end. I think it was Jimmy Dunn, but Connolly is no mug in front of goal as well. Got to be careful to not give anything away there, because that could be pretty detrimental. But a really good ball here actually from Chair. Let's stick with this for a second as Armstrong's running at Greaves. Greaves, good strength, pushes Armstrong out wide, but he does keep the ball. Dykes going to look back here, find Dazelle, try and get it onto his left foot, finds a lovely pass there to Chair. Chair going to just keep this alive, plays it down. It's a waste. It's a good opportunity, but it's end-to-end football so far. Ball out wide here. Lakilo is on the ball, plays it to the edge of the box, plays it to Connolly. Labrovic Didn't have much to do in the last game, but already been called into action. Only 20 or so minutes into the game here against Hull. But it's a good save, a powerful shot from Connolly. But he's held on to it, which is fantastic. Lovely ball there from Dizelle. It's a really nice chance here as Willock's going to play this up. Plays it into Armstrong. Armstrong with the strike, hits it wide. Look at the space that Chair was in. Probably should have just taken a touch. As you can see, he got it here. Maybe just drag back, play it. I rushed it, boys. I rushed it. Ilyas Chair. Going to play this back to Powell, and then I'm going to hopefully play it back to Chair. We do. Lovely chance here for Chair to run through. Look at the run from Armstrong. We're going to find it. He's going to try and lay it off to Linden. Linden with the strike. Smith yet again getting in the way. Really good defending. Smith and Greaves have both defended fantastically well. It really has been the centre-backs for both sides coming out on top in some good counter-attacking play from both teams at the moment. It's neither team really getting too much of a foothold on the ball. It's basically get the ball, win it with your defenders, and then try and get it forward as quick as possible. That's what both sides have done. You can see here, in the time I've said that, Hull bringing the ball to the edge of our box here. Morton plays it up to their forward. It's a good save from Labrovic. It's going to be a corner for Hull just on the stroke of half time here. About a minute and a half on the clock. Need to make sure we don't give away anything silly here. Field going to just tap it down. I kind of asked for a clearance, but Armstrong is going to lose out. I was going to say he's going to keep hold of it twice, and Slater's going to find the back of the net on the stroke of half time. It's a poor goal to concede. Slight frustration in the fact that I've asked Field to clear it, but he's ended up sort of tapping it to Armstrong, who's then lost it twice. As I've tried to get rid, but hasn't happened, and it's a silly and sloppy goal to concede, but it's a goal conceded nonetheless. It's a good goal and a good time to score for Hull here. It's really bad time to concede right on the stroke of half time. Nothing you can do about it to try and rectify it before that whistle goes. So all the work to do now in this second half here. I think the game plan is keep the team the same for now. I think maybe Dykes off for Chaplin at some point could be a vibe, but I'm going to give it to like 55th, 60th minute. Just give Linden a couple more minutes, another chance or two, hopefully, to try and prove himself and show that he can get another goal, because he got a brace in the last game. You know, he's no mug. We know what Linden can do, but just giving Chaplin, 30, 35 minutes to come on and try and score with a bit of pace, a bit more pace than someone like a Linden has, might be beneficial. So let's just keep this alive here. Dizelle, I was going to say keep it alive. I've given away immediately, but that's annoying. Oh, good tackle here from Armstrong. Nice and high up the pitch. Going to find Willock, who's going to try and play it into Dizelle, but Dizelle ended up not making the run. It's gone all the way through to Linden. I'm next on the ball goes off the pitch, boys. I'm going to make those changes. Armstrong plays it into Linden here. Linden going to take a touch, plays it into Willock. Willock just keeps it ahead of Smith. Willock finds the back of the net. Really good time to score. I've just made some changes as well, so fresh legs are about to be injected into this side as well. But a really good time to find the back of the net there from Chris Willock. Lovely bit of play. Linden plays it through, just has enough strength to keep it away from Smith despite getting the small touch on the ball that he got, but he just keeps it alive, plays it into a good area onto that right foot and into the side netting. Keeper getting nowhere near it. I believe it's Allsop they've got in goal. I might be lying to you. I don't know if I'm thinking of the right team. Who knows? I don't. But it's a good goal from Chrissy Willock. Changes, as I said, being made. Chair making way. Dizelle making way. Dykes making way. It's going to be 3 like-for-like changes. Smith coming on for Chair. It's going to be Chaplin on for Dykes and Joby Bellingham on for Dizelle. Smith's going to be operating down the right-hand side with Willock on the left here. But a really good tackle there. Nice and early from Joby Bellingham. Let's try and keep this alive. Chaplin gets fouled there. Surely, ref. It is a foul. Lovely. Thank you very much, referee. Going to pick up this ball a little bit further out than I'd like it to be. So what we're going to do here is have Chaplin run over it. We're going to play it to him with Chris Willock. Willock is not going to play it to him. He's going to play elsewhere. Let's keep this alive. Look at that space there for Joby Bellingham. It's a bit of a hashed shot. It's not a good effort. I think he's right-footed, and it's well, I hope he is, because his left foot really was not up to it there. Chaplin on the ball. Look at that run there from Armstrong. It's a little bit of a sort of lack of pace on that pass, but Armstrong does really well to keep it alive. Chaplin tries to play it down, couldn't quite do so. The run from Smith was maybe the way to look there, play it out and then play it in, but I tried to force it into the middle of the box, and maybe that was the issue there. But they're going to keep it alive, going to try and rotate it. Can I get back? Can we get back? Because we cannot concede here. Good save from Labrovic. That would have been a terrible time to concede. Just going to make some fresh legs and fresh changes at the back here. Cook also came on. I forgot that one. I think, honestly, it's going to have to be Aussie off for Walters. And again, that is just a stamina situation. That is just for rotation. And that is just to keep things as fresh as possible. Make the most of all the subs that we've got, I think, makes the most sense. But bringing on someone like a Rayan Kohli wouldn't have done, I don't think, in this scenario, because we still need a goal and we need to not concede. Labrovic again saving the day potentially here. 3 points still up for grabs if we can get the ball, take it down the other end of the pitch and find just something. We've got to get the ball first, though, because so far we have been off the pace, off the ball, out of possession, and now Armstrong. Can he bring it here? Yes, he can. Sinclair Armstrong with a lovely run. Greaves trying to close him down. Armstrong has got the pace to keep away from him. Has he got the finish? No, he doesn't. He hits it wide. I cannot believe it. Sinclair Armstrong, who has been so good in front of goal for us, drags the shot wide of the post. The run was beautiful. You can see I absolutely bagged it there for sure. Me in front of goal there, as you saw. I found the back of the net, but Sinclair Armstrong didn't, and it's still 1-1. That there was a game winner. Sam Field going to bring this ball forward, going to try and find Chaplin. Does so pretty well. Greaves, though, is going to come across. I've said Greaves and Smith have both been pretty good this game. Greaves right there proving that he is more than good enough to stop us from potentially pushing through for the second, despite us having the chance not long ago to get it. But that is going to be full time. That's so disappointing, boys. Oh, Sinclair Armstrong may just rue that miss. That could be an opportunity that stops us getting into the playoffs. That is how crucial that miss was. That could be enough that our playoff push is over. We'll have to find out. 7th place is currently what we have to settle for now. 4 points behind Norwich, 2 points behind Preston, but they still have a game to play. And it's not looking fantastic for us. It is a moment of having to rely on teams around us to drop points. We have got Coventry up next, who are sat in 17th, bottom half of the table. It's worth having a look at who Preston and Norwich have, because those are still the teams that we're looking at. You know, Hull equal on points with Norwich as well. So Hull, Norwich, Preston. Hull have got Southampton. That could be a team that could do us a favour. West Brom are in 9th, so obviously having a good season too. Them against Preston, 6th against 9th. Anything could happen there. Norwich against Swansea, who I think are lower down there in 15th. Those are games that we've got to hope go our way. We need, at this moment in time, the teams above us to drop points. We're kind of relying on that. Preston North End, I believe, lost their game in hand, boys. That could be absolutely huge. They were against Leeds and they lost 2-1. That could be our lifeline. We physically cannot now fall any further behind them, because that final game of the season against Preston could mean everything. It really could. Okay, going into this game here, one change, or two changes actually. Cook starting and Chaplin starting. Now, this isn't just reactionary to Armstrong missing that opportunity. I promise you, it genuinely isn't. But it is just, I think, an important change to add that little something different against the 5-back team. I think Chaplin's quality is going to be crucial here, playing against the 5-back that Coventry run. And Cook just going to come in again, just a bit of rotation with Dunn. Those two sort of swapping and changing for this season, as I don't think Cook will be with us in the starting 11 at the very least next season. So I think it just makes sense to kind of swap and change those two where possible. Also, just something very quickly, completely random to the match we're about to play. There was a comment about changing some of our youth players' positions. I will go and do that after this game. Meant to do it at the start of the episode, and I completely forgot. So hopefully I will remember to do those after this game. Fingers crossed anyway. But I cannot focus on that now. Right now, the focus has to be 3 points against Coventry to keep our playoff dreams alive, because it really, losing any ground on Preston, and I think it's curtains. Coventry play this ball so quickly. They are the epitome right now of like tiki-taka style football. It is not fun to play against, because when you've not got the ball, you are not getting it back anytime soon when you play against a high difficulty in FC24 when they're playing that tiki-taka style football. But Ilias Chair here, going to try and bring it inside. Lovely run. Chaplin keeps, I think, just onside. Going to try and play it back here. Lyndon Dykes, it's a sweaty goal, but I'll tell you who doesn't care. Me. I do not care at all. Fantastic finish. And Lyndon Dykes' goals today could be the difference in seeing us into those playoff places. He has been so impactful when we've needed him. Just like in last year's career mode, he has been the man in front of goal that we have needed. And it feels awful every time I don't play him, because or that he's not FIFA meta or FC24 meta. He just isn't. He's slow. He's not a great, like, he is a good target man, but there are better target players or target men for sure that you can go for. His shooting's not crazy high. He's got good physical, but again, he's not like a beefy boy, but he just finds goals for us. And here he's been gifted an opportunity to try and make another chance here as he brings it forward, plays it into Willock. Willock gets it into Chaplin. Chaplin with a finesse, and Chaplin with a quick second here up against Coventry. And again, these goals are huge. Connor Chaplin, absolutely fantastic. Just curls it into that far post, hits the post and in. And that is a fantastic second goal to just give us an early cushion. Chris Willock with a lovely run here. Cameraman having, I don't know what he's on, but they're probably illegal, and it's in the back of the net. That is what matters, boys. Connor Chaplin, nearly said Charlie Chaplin. Connor Chaplin with a beautiful finish. The keeper getting nowhere near it, and just like that, boys, we've doubled the lead. It's 2-0, and this is exactly what we needed. Coventry bring this ball forward. Oh, it's a bit of a late tackle there from Cook, sorry, more than anything. It's not good. It's a bad tackle, and it is a chance here for Coventry. It's a little bit far out, you'd argue. It's not crazy close. They've got a lot of runners running here, but Godden's going to have the strike, and I'm going to assume they won't let him take another free kick anytime soon. Oh, Kenneth Powell loses the ball like in that sort of midfield third there, and it's a chance here for Coventry bring it forward. I've completely missed the tackle with Ozzy Kakai. Ozzy Kakai, great making up for it though, 2 against 1, and he came out on top, and he needed to, because if they get that ball central, we're outnumbered, and it's a problem for us. And I'm not entirely sure what I was trying there, but it wasn't good. Zell brings this forward confidently as well, just charging through that middle of the field, but it's a good tackle in the end. Allen comes away with the ball. Dazelle there picked up a bit of a knock. Hopefully not a knock that's going to see him either forced off the pitch or out of games for a period of time, because this is not the good time in the season to really be picking up players that are potentially going to be missing from your starting 11. But Wright is going to get rid of the clean sheet, going to make it 2-1. And now we have really got something to think about. Obviously not long left in the half, but it gives us something to worry about for the second half. Really well worked goal there. Slight slack and maybe sloppy defending in the end. Labrovich, not too much you can do about it because it's absolutely lumped at him. Lovely finish. And yeah, 2-1. Now it's not quite as plain sailing as it has been. Half-time whistle is blown, and that is going to mean we've got 45 minutes to secure this win. A little bit of a slight worry with Dazelle, because it did come up and say on the screen injury severe, or like severe injury, or so it came up. It was weird wording, I can't remember what it said, but it basically made me aware that he is not overly comfortable. So Bellingham is going to make his way on, a far less sort of defensive option. I know Dazelle's not massively defensive, but Bellingham is even less so. Other than that, though, team is staying the same for now. I'd like to bring on Smith at some point. I'd like to bring on Armstrong at some point. But yeah, I think for now that is a future Tom problem. At the moment, I really just need to make sure we really get a foothold in this game and we don't give them that chance of picking anything up. Realistically, I'd like another goal, and I'd like it obviously to be ours. But we simply cannot let them even get close to picking up a second, because if they do, I will genuinely start to worry a little bit. But second half, 40 minutes on the clock, let's get it done. Knocking the ball around quite nicely here, Coventry. I said this in the build-up to their first goal. They just knock it around really, really nicely. I said this at the start of the game, in fact. They play this really brutal to play against possession style game that is just so annoying to have to defend against, because you really just struggle to get the ball, because as soon as you close them down, they're just, they've passed it 3-4 times as soon as you get within 5 feet of them. So it's a real nightmare to play against. But Chair here picks up the ball, going to try and play it through to Linden, eventually plays it through to Chrissy Willock, who's going to have a pop here from the very difficult angle, but he's going to find the back of the net, and I'm very happy that he did. That is a real clean finish. A little bit lucky for the ball to bounce back to Chair the way that it did, but he eventually gets it on the second bite of the cherry through to Chrissy Willock, who just takes a good touch and just fires the ball into that top corner. Lovely strike. Nothing the keeper can do about it. Going to make some changes. We're also about to yawn. It's 3 o'clock. Oh, yawn complete. Let's make those changes. It's 3:30 in the morning, boys. What am I doing to myself? Ilias Chair is going to make way for Paul Smith. We're going to actually, you know what? I'll keep Smith on this side, play him in that left wing role, have him come back and have him get in behind, have him stand the edge. He's only a little lad. And then I think the rest of these might just be some form of stamina changes here. I'm going to bring on Walters. Again, I think it's going to be for Ozzy. I just think Walters and Ozzy, I mean, he is a right back primarily, but I think it's just mainly that stamina. Ozzy's stamina, I don't think is quite as high as Kenneth Powell's. I'm going to yawn again. But I'm going to make that last change as well. It's going to be Lyndon Dykes coming off for Sinclair Armstrong. Give Chaplin just 90 minutes, I think. I know his stamina was a little bit less than Lyndon's, but I think it just makes sense. So 3-1. About 30 minutes, just under that, maybe 25 on the clock, or to play. And yeah, should hopefully now see this one out. Good tackle there from field, but Coventry do keep it. Palmer plays it into Godden. Godden just about shields it. Joby Bellingham can't get anywhere near it. Allen tries to play it through, but Cook with a fantastic interception and sees that one away. And now Bellingham going to try and set away Armstrong. Can he chest this down? He can. Can he keep it away from the defenders? He can't. McFadden and Kitchen sweeping up and getting it away in the end. Going to whip this ball in there. Walters with a really good headed clearance there. Powell is going to bring it away. Paul Smith now to run through as well. And Chaplin maybe tries and play it back here to Smith, because Smith has got the pace to see this through. Armstrong is in the box there, but I need to try and get the space to play it into him. It's a very good cross, but it is a little bit too near to the keeper, who's comfortable with it in the end. Very good save, but it wasn't a bad idea there from Smith. It was a good little cross. Final change here with a couple of minutes on the clock. Jimmy Dunn is going to come on for Jake Clark-Salter. That is just stamina. And I've said time and time again, you know, the rotation is between Dunn and Cook. But Clark-Salter ends up playing a lot because of that and doesn't get rotated out too often. So thought process here, lovely bit of play there from Paul Smith, by the way, is just rest Clark-Salter for the last, it's literally like 5 minutes, but just give him a little bit of a break, you know. Chrissy Willock now going to try and bring this through. Going to play it into Chaplin. Chaplin just needs to keep possession here. Going to play it into Armstrong, who's got a small knock, which is not what I needed to see. You can see he's got a bit of an injury there. Hopefully it's not one that's going to carry through, but that there is 3 very important points, as I say every game, and I apologise that I'm going to say that for a little while now. 3 huge points. Very happy with that. 7 from a possible 9 today. Hopefully it doesn't end up being 2 less than we needed. A 6-game unbeaten run is slowly starting to prove dividends. We are a point clear of Preston with the same games played. Hull got battered by Southampton, which means we're also level on points with them, but only a goal behind now on goal difference. It's looking like it's now all down to us. It's not just relying on Preston to lose. It's not just relying on Hull to drop points and get beaten. It's us securing the points is enough. If we just don't lose from now, we physically cannot not be in the playoffs. Even if we lose to Blackburn, which obviously I hope we don't, we just have to beat Preston. But if we win today, we still have to beat Preston if Preston don't drop points. So if Preston lose their next game and we win against Blackburn, we are confirmed in the playoffs, which is huge. And this game is the last game of the episode. Just going to see who Preston are playing. They are away to Middlesbrough, who are in 9th. They themselves cannot get into playoffs. They cannot catch Preston. So you could argue from Middlesbrough, technically, on a technical basis, this could be deemed as a bit of a nothing game. But hopefully they go into it with full gusto, just like we're going to. Let's get the last game of the episode played. Let's see if we can secure a championship playoff place. Okay, so you thought I forgot, and I'll tell you why you thought I forgot. It's because I forgot. We're going to make those changes now to those players that we were talking about here. Been suggested that Walsh is a cam. Only takes him 2 weeks to change there, which is normally a pretty good indication that that's correct. That is a relatively natural position for them. And it's been suggested that Spencer is more of a DM. Now, the only reason I'll say this now that I didn't think he was going to be a DM is because of his passing stat being particularly low. However, 85 weeks to me, that indicates that there's a chance he's maybe not a natural DM. What I'll do, though, is I will still make that change. He's got high physicality, and I guess his like dribbling stats aren't crazy far off of his defending. I think it was suggested because his marking, or like, which stat is it? Let me just use my brain for a second. I'm not sure what stat he meant there. Sorry, I'm just reading the comment. Thank you, by the way, Tiba. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's his physical stats, sorry, that suggest he's a DM. So you know what? I will make that change. It's going to take over a season, but I'll commit to it. I'm willing to try. He probably will be called up along with, you know what? I think I'm going to call up Randall now, just because he is now 18, and I don't want him getting annoyed and choosing to leave. Although maybe I make that an end of the season thing. You know what? When he says, "Oh, I'm upset," I'll call him up. That's the plan. But yeah, I didn't forget. I nearly forgot, but I didn't forget. 2 players, by the way, shortlisted for Player of the Month: Willock and Dykes. You love to see it. Wonder if you're sick of me saying it, but this is the most important game of the season, boys. Up against Blackburn. It's going to be a tough one. I don't remember how the other game against them went this season. But again, Preston, if they drop points and we win, we're guaranteed a playoff place. Could be huge. Let's hope we can do it here. Dunn coming in and starting, Armstrong starting as well. Again, I just don't feel like I can drop Linden right now. He's been so impactful. He scored so many goals today. Chaplin and Armstrong both also getting goals. So all 3 of our strikers have been finding the back of the net. But Linden, I think, has done it best today. That's for sure. It is also now, by the way, 20-4. I am not going to be editing this tonight. I can promise you that. I'll be going to bed up in the morning, take the dog for a walk, then I'll edit it. Future Tom problem. But let's think about present Tom. Got to win this game, boys. Come on, yours. Schmodix running through here. Jimmy Dunn wrong-sided. Labrovic with a good initial save. Schmodix almost with another chance there. That's early warning signs as Blackburn threaten early. Kenneth Power with work to do here. Had 3 men at one point to cover there, but did well enough. Clark Salter also back to help out in the end. Dolan on the ball. Samfield doing Samfield things, and that is getting back and just being in the right place at the right time. So much love for that guy, honestly. He's so good. Such an underrated player, and huge, not just in this save, but in real life. Talking of saves, Labrovic punches it away. It's not quite finished with yet. Dolan going to try and take it past players and does. Schmodix with the ball, plays it into Ennis, and Ennis plays it into the back of the net. We like making it difficult for ourselves, boys. We haven't made it easy. Ennis finds the back of the net after some pretty stinky defending. It's pretty poor. It's pretty terrible. But Blackburn Rovers make the most of it here. Look at this. Ennis with so much space. I was saying how good field is. Doesn't quite step into it enough. Labrovic, don't think there was too much he could do about it. It's a lovely finish into that side netting. And Niall Ennis with his first goal of the season. Nice. Sinclair Armstrong. Wait for the run from Willock, mate. Lovely run from Willock. Cuts in between the fullback and the centre-back, and that is exactly what we needed to do, boys. That is exactly it. And Willock, I think his third goal, I should say, of the episode has also been pretty clinical in front of goal. I've been giving Linden the plaudits, but it's a lovely bit of play from Willock. He scored some very nice goals as well. Lovely finish there. Sort of looked like that Ozil-esque, where it's sort of like he played it into the ground to bounce. I know it's not quite what he did, but that's how it looked to me. And in my mind, that's what he did. Lovely finish from Chris Ozil, apparently. But yeah, 1-1, back in it. We weren't behind for long. That's big. Gallagher with the ball, but Clark Salter with a really good tackle. I've wasted the ball there with Chair, but a really good tackle from Clark Salter. Schmodix with the ball, edge of the box here. Gallagher causing me troubles with the way he was just staying on side. I couldn't leave him with Jake Clark Salter. I needed to block the run and the ball and the potential shot from Schmodix. I had to do a lot there with Clark Salter, but Clark Salter was more than up to it. And we keep this alive here. Lyndon Dykes doesn't quite keep it alive, actually. Hill wins it. They bring it away. Got to be careful here. It's, you know what's so evident? It's like Blackburn Rovers attack with like a 5 or a 6, and it is very, very worrying. Every time they get that ball, it feels like I'm defending with not enough players. Even if my entire back line and CDMs are there to try and help, it just feels like there's so many players to have to contend with and deal with. It's a bit worrying, but we're doing well here on an attack. Armstrong with the strike sort of played it out from under himself. It was sort of caught under his feet, and he just had to have a bit of a stab at it, but a very good save in the end, matching the shot. But let's see if we can just play this up for Linden. Let's do what we usually do. Get it onto Linden. Dykes his head. It hits the keeper, hits the post, and it doesn't hit the back of the net. It's a good effort, but it's a very good save from the keeper. Stroke of luck and a stroke of bad luck for us, but it's not quite enough to get us into the lead. If we can turn this around in the first half, that would have been lovely, but I don't think there's quite enough time on the clock unless we win this back quickly, which I don't think we're going to. Last chance of the half is going to probably fall Blackburn's way. They don't make the most field there, intercepting the potential ball through ball. Oh my word, bad time I think from Schmodix, but it's 1-1 with a fantastic equalising goal from Chris Willock. It was enough to see us back into it after a very good strike and a bit of poor defending, but Ennis with his first goal of the season causing us problems. But it's not done just yet. Field the Shield is looking pretty tired, but I just cannot justify bringing him off right now, and he's been good. But it's time for Chaplin. It's time for those fresh legs. A little bit tired, and you could tell he was a little bit tired from Sinclair Armstrong. He just wasn't quite making the passes we need him to make. Some good runs, but Chair, Dykes and Willock were definitely a bit more impactful in that first half. So hopefully Chaplin can come on and make the difference, just be that extra player up there that we need, and a little bit of pace, although obviously I think him and Armstrong are pretty much similar pace, but you know, just nice like for like in that department. But a nice bit of play here, and Chaplin now with the Trivela. I won't lie to you, I tried the Trivela thinking it was Ilias Chair, which is I was hoping he was going to right foot Trivela it, but he's left foot Trivela it, and it's just curled just in front of the goal there. I'm in jeans, by the way. What an absolute fraud. But it's just gone wide of the post, and that would have been a really good impact from Chaplin just as the half started. Chaplin going to bring this ball away now. Chaplin cuts inside. Oh, a nice run from Chair was looking likely there, but Chaplin's done really well just keeping this by himself. I think the defender's going to catch him. Britton does get back there, but I think Chaplin has got the agility to take Britton on, because Britton did not like the sort of twisting and turning that Chaplin was putting in front of him. Managed to get past him. Just needs a player to lay it off to, and we could have a bit of an inward route to goal there for sure. Chair with a lovely stop and turn, plays it inside to Sam Field. Field going to look up and find Linden. Lovely first touch, pulled onto his left, and it is just wide of the post. A really, really lovely touch to just pull it and have the opportunity to shoot, because it didn't look like the opportunity was even going to be there, but it's just wide of the post. 65 minutes, you know what? Blackburn, I see you. Let's make some changes. Dazelle off, Bellingham on, and I think Ilias Chair making way, and it's going to be for Paul Smith. And I've just said that Chaplin's got the beating of Britton, so you know what? Paul Smith's pace will for sure have the beating. So let's, you know what, get into that box, get in behind, cause some problems. Changes were made. Bellingham and Smith on for Chair and Dazelle. 25 minutes, boys. Let's try and secure this winner, because, again, if the Preston game is going our way, we don't even need to worry about the Preston game. Come on, let's see this out here. Travis going to lay it back to Hedges. Lovely tackle there from Bellingham, and it's falls to Ozzy Kakai. Helps bring that away. Then Bellingham here just going to keep running in the middle of the park. Lovely bit of strength, lovely bit of agility. Good play here. Going to find Smith. Smith up against Britton. I've said that he's got the, I was going to say he's got the pace, and again the agility to take him on, but didn't quite have the distance to run round him there, which is the main issue. Gallagher here causing us problems, plays it out wide, going to find Britton on the overlap, going to have space in the middle for Gallagher, and Gallagher's going to have a snapshot, and Labrovic gets down to his right, and you can see the reaction from Jimmy Dunn, and that is absolutely right, because that could keep our season alive. Jimmy Dunn, bit of a, I don't know what he's doing there, do a bit of an Irish jig, but it doesn't find its way into the back of the net. That's the main thing. Let's keep it that way. Labrovic, let's just command that box, get rid of it. Smith, it falls to the edge of the box. Schmodix and Labrovic called into action again with another crucial save. Again, could that be a season-defining save from Labrovic? Quite possibly. Paul Smith, by the way, with a huge sprint, heavy touch, runs into Pickering, but does manage to win it back here from Pickering, and Pickering wins it back from him. 5 minutes on the clock, boys, and it's still anyone's opportunity, anyone's game here as they bring it forward. Gallagher going to look out wide and is going to find Dolan. Dolan, can we get it off him? Jimmy Dunn. That is a fantastic tackle, my friend. Really nice. And a run now from Paul Smith. Paul Smith inside. Tries to find Linden. Linden does win it, but runs into the defender. And that is surely going to be all she wrote, boys. It is. It's 1-1. That means regardless of what happened against Preston, we can't lose to Preston. That game all of a sudden becomes huge. Well, well, well. 6 against 5th. Hull have a game in hand. It could very easily be that it becomes 6th against 7th. We're going to find out quickly as I'm just going to go through a couple of days. Oh, offer for Colback. You know what? Let's sort these things out quickly first. It ends up being 5th against 7th. Preston a point ahead of us. They won 2-1 against Middlesbrough. Just going to see, just for the sake of it, it's Stoke up against, by the way, Sunderland out the bottom 3 as things that. Look at that bottom 3. Wow, any of those bottom 4 could go. Sunderland, Ipswich, Rotherham and Plymouth all potentially fighting for their lives right now. That is a very interesting turn of events there. Fair play to Sunderland sitting 21st, potentially safe if they can get the win. But Hull are against Stoke, so that is going to be a 5th or a 6th, against 12th. Again, depending on results, that could end up being that we overtake them, but we simply cannot rely on that. This game against Preston is the epitome of, and yes, I'm saying it again, it's a must win, because if we don't, there's 90% chance we're not in the playoffs. That game against Preston is huge, and that game against Preston will be how we start the next episode. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like. I can't even speak. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like on it. Supports me, the video, the channel, and the series out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video or indeed go live stream. We do live stream on YouTube, but we also live stream on Twitch, which is my main place that I stream. There's a link down below to that and all my other social medias. Feel free to go check them out. But for now, guys, I want to say massive thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. Take care.